Hello and welcome back to another episode, and if you're new here, I'm Minion J. I work on behalf of the Disgruntled Octopus. Well, this is not the Disgruntled Octopus, but just think of him, more orange, a lot taller, and apparently more handsome, and very, very disgruntled. So he has been in negotiations with Grumpy Granny to bring back the live, probably Friday night, I'm not too sure, but I don't know if that's top secret or otherwise, but be warned, it is incoming. So today, I picked up something off Facebook Marketplace this morning or yesterday. I've done lots of things the last couple of days. They're all blending into the one. And my wife wants it out of the house. It is, needless to say, it is smut. I rang Leanne, and because she's a fountain of knowledge of all things vintage and antique, I suppose you could probably say as well, I did speak to her and said, hey, look, what the hell is this? And what do I do with it? Turns out it's a BOLO. It's a massive BOLO. So we'll show you in a second. Keep your eyes out. I'm probably going to ruin the market, but hey, why not? Long story short, so reached out to this gentleman. He was selling about 200 books for $200. Works out to be about 250 books when I went through them. And there's something called Carter Brown, and I'll show you something here. So they're a pulp fiction book. Where are we? So these are from probably anywhere between the late 50s to some 90s ones in here. I think the 90s might be reprint, but I'm not too sure, but I'm thinking 50s or 60s. That's where some of the books have come from. And as you can see here, there is a lot of them. And I'm not going to show you too many because there are books with legitimate topless models on them. So if you want to go see that, go across the Diary of the Flippers channel. But like I was saying to Leanne, I paid less than $1 for all of these books. The gentleman, which was quite elderly, asked me, I suppose, what my interest was in them. Typical Josh fashion is I just blame my dad. So I'm picking him up for him. So obviously Dungeons and Dragons for my brother, and also this stuff for my dad. Leanne was saying that possibly some of the books could go $40, $50, $60 each. Let me know in the comment section below, and I really, really, really want your opinion on this, is that my thoughts are just to do a variation listing, probably release 5 books per a day and cap them at $19.99. $19.99 each, plus postage, obviously $10 postage if you're in domestic. Then if, you know, hypothetically, if someone knows the niche back to front and I release a $500 book that I'm not too worried about, I don't particularly care. All I want to do is move them quite quickly, and someone's across the road annoying me, so hopefully that's not picking up on the microphone. Where's Tori when you need him? The John Flipper is notorious for screaming at people in the op shops and the thrift stores, telling him who's boss, so maybe I'll need to bring him across. Yeah, so next door, Tori, oh geez, they're slamming the door, chucking a tantrum. So Tori, obviously if you're available, mate, please come across. I need some assistance with the neighbours. They're only new in. They don't know the pecking order in the neighbourhood yet. That's a joke. So like I say, is that I'm not too familiar with this. All I've seen was the mass quantity, and like I said before, I normally pick up mass quantity of Star Wars vintage books, you know, stuff from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and put them in a variation listing, delete the variations as they go, or add them, and go from that way. So this is what I'm going to pretty much do with these ones here. So what I'll do is I'll do a variation listing, probably $19.99 per book. There are some books in, almost ripped it, really, really good condition for their age. This particular one is, I don't know, 1960. So it is 64 years old. So that might be one to look out for. So that's, I'm not too sure if that's a first print, but it's got writing on the back, as you could probably see there. Someone's probably doodled on it. I'm going to be using that word in a smut word. Someone's probably drawn on it. Maybe a code. I'm not too sure if there's a code. I assume they're detective books from what Leanne was telling me. I'm not too sure. I do need to find an old person. Maybe Tori, if you're in the comment section, mate, can you let me know? Because you're old enough to probably know what these are. But like I was saying, is that there is heaps of them. So that one's pretty clean. Oh, that one's a bit more risque. And like I was saying, is that they're all Fox. They're all what I would class as pulp fiction. And Leanne said that as well. This is 1971, so well and truly before I was born, a lot of these books. Some of them you know, are in rougher condition. They're quite foxed, as you can see, down here and all these different, got to be careful with my fingers. I don't want to be having a complaint against YouTube. So basically they've got 60 cents in them, all these different things, drawing all over them. I know some resellers, you know, especially Mel back from Burnett, does say that she will rub out the 60 cents in the book. these books are so old and quite fragile. They're fine to read, but if I attack it with a rubber, even slightly, I dare say the page will rip or tear away just because it's just age, right? So I'm more than happy to leave it in there. And if people are buying these things, and like Leanne was saying, is that they're not there. They're very common in the wild, primarily because especially the op shops down here, if being a stereotype, generally it's probably an older lady that works primarily here in the thrift shops down in Canberra. They probably see this and I throw it out because it's smut. Not knowing there are collectors, not knowing there are people that do want to read this content. I particularly don't care one way or another. Give me your money. I don't care what you're into. So I will go through those books. And like I was saying, I'll probably release 5 a day. They do have that really cheap paper feel to them, like they're just probably like $1 book or whatever it is. This is the first edition from 1975, this one. Obviously it might go from there. Leanne is in two minds in the sense I should be researching them and pricing them accordingly, but like I was saying, Danielle wants them out of the house. So she wants them gone. She doesn't want to put up with them anymore. I did tell her I was picking up some books. I didn't particularly tell her which ones I were picking up. And like I said, she's not a prude. It's just because I've got 4 kids here. I don't really want them stumbling across this and A, thinking it's mine, or B, because it was probably a different time period. And, the way they objectified women was probably a little bit different to what it is now. So let me know in the comment section, what should I do? Because this is primarily all going in the Japan account, right? Statistically speaking, if I list them at $20 a book plus postage, because of the rarity, I won't be putting on a multi-quantity discount. So theoretically, and I won't be promoting them because if you type in Carter Brown into eBay, not many searches come up. If I put them at $20 each, I'll probably walk away with just say $17, $16 each after a sale for the book, for the fees and all those different things. That's a lot of money that will be ejected back into the Japan trip. Or alternatively, if I spend 15, 20 minutes for 10, 15 books, I might be able to find a diamond in the rough that's quite rare, quite sought after, and gets that that higher price point. So let me know in the comment section below what you think I should do. I really don't have an idea. I'm really up in the air at that stage. My stance at this stage of time is just to basically put a variation listing up, $19.99 plus $9.99 postage. They are relatively lightweight, so I dare say they're about 100 grams, so I could probably send maybe 2 or 3 books under that first 250 grams. I know I said they're 100 grams each, they're really light, so I'd be surprised if they're not 70 or 80 grams. Under that 250 gram limit for Australia Post, so that may appeal for an international market. The reason why I'm drip feeding them for 5 at a time, I do foresee them going quite quickly due to the age and due to the condition they're in. Yes, they've got writing all over them. Yes, they'll be automatically acceptable because of the condition of the book. It meets the criteria for acceptable on eBay, but they are structurally sound. They are pretty good quality for the age. There are some with damage down the spine and like a $2 written on the front, all those different things, but that is just going to be the listing description saying, hey, look, it might have price points, it might have writing on the covers. This one doesn't even have it. 1962 as well. So yeah, like these ones don't even have editions, they just have dates. So I'm not too sure about those as well. So if you are a bookseller, please let me know in the comment section below. Does that make it first Australian edition? I know when it has a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and all those different things, but that one just basically, and I'll show you a little bit closer to the screen. Don't read it, you can't read the book. Oh, it is the first edition, sorry, it's at the top. So, take that. So first edition 1962, and like I said, it's only got 1962 through down here as well. So that's something that I'll probably will be going through. There are some other sorts of magazines like the Mean Streets. I'm not too sure if that's an Australian magazine, but it looks of it is. 1990, 1991 as well. Not too sure what they are. They're just like, I've never even heard of these. So I was speaking to Dad last night. Well, I was speaking to Mum, and I said to Dad, look, do you know any of these? He's like, I've never heard of those. He sounded really really sus when he said it. So I reckon he does know what these are. But he was born in 1953, so he probably would have been 10 when these came out, a majority of them. But like I was saying, let me know in the comment section below. because I've literally tons and tons and tons. I've got some, some obviously worse for wear. They've got like, bending and look like a little bit of water damage over the years, but structurally they're fine. And like I was saying is that, sidetracked. Medication's kicked out. Structurally they're fine. Do I put them as $19.99? Do I individually price them? Let me know. All right, so next thing we're going to move on to quite quickly. I picked up some things today because everyone's excited about what I see. As you'll notice, the change of scenery. I've sold some board games. That big one that I picked up on Tuesday, the one that was already in the box and I told you about, that I picked it up for, I think it was $200, I said. It sold today for $6.99 plus post. It was fantastic. The measurements are on the box. The box, when they ship these from Kickstarter, they basically float the box in and they put that really heavy, strong foam around it. Had the weight on the box, had the measurements on the box. All I did was slap a label over the top of the previous label and off it's gone. So sales have been a little bit crazy here, to say the least. I did reach out to Leanne and ask her how hers was. She was saying that they're stabilized, but they're not as crazy as mine. So I'm not going to disclose what my 90-day sale is or what I've done this week, primarily because I'm not trying to boast or I'm not trying to do those different things, but I am finding that listing Skylanders, listing board games is bringing back quite a healthy return. School goes back next week for us in Australia, so they might drop off from Skylanders, but what I was saying to Leanne as well is that my Skylander customers aren't kids. They're generally outside of school. They might be going back to university, but generally speaking, they're not school kids. So on my travels today, and I will get into a section, I actually picked up a original MacBook Mini. Mac Mini. So I'm not too sure when this one came out. I need to do some research on it. So I picked this up for $10. It's quite yellowed at the top, as you can see, and quite dirty on the bottom. That bottom bit feels like that porous foam kind of thing, in the sense of, I've given it a clean both sides and all around it with a disinfectant wipe, but the grubbiness is still in it. You probably can't see, but you can see the grubbiness. Picked up that for $10. I just thought it was the base unit. So when I got there, he gave me a power cord, he gave me a DVI cord that converts it to plug in the back of a monitor. It's not HDMI, and I don't have a monitor to check. Long story short, I plugged it into the power and it boots up, does the doong, like the Apple sound, which is fantastic. I'm going to list it as parts only because I could not test it fully. However, I'm going to take a video of it doing that doong sound, and hopefully people make fun of me in the comments of my Apple impersonation. Hopefully Steve Jobs doesn't rise from his grave and attack me because I butchered his doong sound. But like I say, I'm going to put it around that $100 mark plus postage, and with that little video showing it's booting up, showing you that I've got the cord, it's got the power cord and all those different things, I think it will go quite quickly. I did put in the community page the other day about guess what sold, and I actually forgot to put guess what sold. It was actually that computer. So that computer that I bought for $30 a week ago, it just sold for $370 plus postage to Victoria. So I need to find a box to put it in. It will go off. I do have some boxes floating around here. Office Works near me. I went through there today just to pick up some stuff. They didn't have any, so I'm going to have to probably try and order some tonight. Hopefully they arrive tomorrow, or duck out on the way home tomorrow from work or at lunch to go to Office Works to find a box to put it in. What I'm going to do, and I have said this before, is I'll probably put a layer of bubble wrap on the inside of the box, and then just get butcher's paper and pat it in, and then literally put the computer monitor in the computer entirely, then butcher's paper around it, strap it up with masking tape and hope for the best. It is being sold as parts only, which really doesn't mean anything on eBay. However, I've basically taken X amount of photos of it showing it doesn't work. I'm going to insure it for $400 to make sure it arrives safely, because the only thing I'm concerned about is the screen smashing, which I don't think is going to be an issue when I pack it, but it will go off tomorrow. And furthermore, just to reach back out to my beloved ZC, and I don't think he's watched any more videos because I've upset too many Dungeon Masters. So those Dungeons and Dragon books I made reference to earlier in the week, the Dungeon Master's outsourced. I think it's fantastic. This is a Dungeon Master after my own heart. He's actually delegated to his wife to come out and bring the books to me. So I did pick up a couple more second edition or advanced Dungeons and Dragons with a very pretty bag. I haven't been through these yet. I've done some pricing. They're in really, really good condition. Boop. my screen's doing that. So really good condition, a lot of them. So that's the arms and equipment guide. Some first editions, some later editions, which I don't particularly care about. Dungeons and Dragons, Player's Handbook. I've had a few of those. Dungeon Master's Guide. There you go. The Monstrous Manual, and I do have one of these. I believe, and if Paige is watching, he probably is because he hears the word Dungeon Master, jumps up. I believe this character here, you can probably see, that was the base model for the Cacodemon in Doom. So the original Doom, if you're a Doom player like I am, I love Doom. That big red raspberry looking thing that fired electricity balls at you. Urban legend, I'm pretty sure it's real, is that little monster there was the basis for that character. So I'm not too sure what he's called, but we'll go with that. So the Monstrous Manual, I have sold, well, haven't sold, but I do have a couple in stock at the moment, and they're quite sought after. I think they're about $150 mark. I paid $100 for all these books, so they probably work out less than $10 a piece. I'm not even going to pronounce that word. I can't pronounce words at the best of times, so I'm not going to pronounce that one. Let's move that out of the way. You'll probably notice as well here, over there, that big box is gone. So I had someone reach out this morning, picked it up for $400, which I've reinvested into this Dungeons and Dragons lot. I bought a couple more Dark Souls games, which I've spoken about previously. I will have to mark the base game a little bit cheaper because it is open and has been played with, but all the expansions are sealed. There's 5 expansions, and I normally sell them for about $100 each. Birthright, it's a campaign expansion. I haven't seen what that is, so I'll have to Google that one. Some campaign expansions do go for decent money, some don't. So it's really one of those things, like it's very depending on what the market is and how rare it is. Arms and Equipment Guide, I think we've already talked about that one. Thief's Handbook, like I said, these are in pretty good condition. These are infinitely better condition than the ones I had before. Fighters, 2 fighter books, a Ranger's Handbook, and I think I Googled this one. And this is the one that I actually wanted the lot for. It's the Monstrous Compendium Appendix 2. Vaguely remember that one being half decent, and what I will do, if I remember, I will put it in the sold comps or the listed price in the video if they pop up. Otherwise, I'll probably put it in the description because I've forgotten. So before I wrap it up, things for today. My video died yesterday, hence why I probably cut off at the end. But I actually did I was arranging to see this Dungeon Master at their house down South Canberra. I did have someone buy a whole bunch of Skylanders Trap Team, and they wanted to pick up. So they lived close to that. Long story short, we arranged an area near where I was going to pick up these books to do it. So we went and met that lady, dropped off it to her kids, and this is what the beautiful thing about Skylanders are. So I sat there and talked to her. It was hopefully going to be a 2-minute conversation. Here's your Skylanders, hope you're happy, leave positive feedback and off you go. But she got into it. I did let it slip that I did a bit of a stalking on her store, and I did notice that she sells Skylanders herself. I did give her some tips in the respect of saying, hey, look, I have gone through your store. Here's some pointers from me, from a Skylanders, not from an egotistical point of view. Her prices are insane. Gave her some ideas. Then she did mention that her daughter, which was also there, she was 17. Didn't look 17. She was like really young looking, but what she did say was that her daughter's quite artistic, so she loves painting miniatures like Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer miniatures and all these different things. And what she's looking at is selling her Skylander collection to buy more Skylanders to customize. And this is fantastic because I love this kind of stuff. I love people that are entrepreneurial even. Love talking about these different things and giving you points. I have spoken to Tori about this, I've spoken to Leanne about this, and I've spoken to Loot in the Boot about this, Jackie, a couple of months ago in a video. So what I said to her is like, I have 2 big boxes of broken Skylanders here. You come here after work one day, I'll give them to you. However, what I do is I normally bring in 4 or 5 bulk locks a week, and there is a percentage of those characters that are broken or they don't work. So what I'll do is I'll actually sell you those characters on a monthly basis. So if I come through on a month and I have 100 characters, say $10, she'll buy them 10 cents on the dollar, and then she'll customize them. So what I said to her is that, because she was asking about the customization, because we're talking about Skylanders, it's quite surprisingly what you absorb through osmosis, talking to these people about these conversations. And I have said previously in a different video is that I try and stay 1 week ahead or one lesson ahead of the people I'm talking to. So if someone asks me a question, do you know if this is the first edition Carter, I'm going to call it Charlie Brown, Carter Brown book? I was like, I don't know. I'll Google it. So I won't just go, I don't know, and leave it at that. I'll Google it and provide hopefully a correct answer, well structured, and making out that I know what I'm talking about. Skylanders is the same. That's how I started off with Skylanders. Someone would reach out and say, hey, look, do you have a Chase Voodooed or something, or do you have a Chase Double Trouble, which I sold today as well? I'm like, I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what there was Chase figures. So what I do is I Google, find what the Chase figure looks like. It's like, no, I don't have the Chase Double Trouble. Now I know what I'm looking for because this is quite sought after. I do delve into the Chase figures and I make a ton of money on Chase figures. So you need to learn your niches, learn to know your audiences, learn to know what particular items to look for. Same with clothing, same with books. Obviously the first editions will probably go for a lot better than the 5th edition. Or something released in the 60s or 70s will probably go a lot better than something released in the 90s. Cover art comes into it as well. And I did notice when I was Googling these Carter Brown books, they were using US cover art or keywords like HarperCollins, I don't think that was the word, but HarperCollins cover art. So making out that this cover art is a variant or very sought after cover art. I'm not going that far into it because the likelihood of me coming across Carter Brown books again is going to be non-existent, right? So I'll just basically list them. If someone knows what they're worth, they will come looking for them. If you decide in the comments that I should go through them individually, I will start using those keywords and going from that way. However, my mindset is that I want to get this money quickly. But having said that, these things are rare enough, according to Leanne, that I could probably get top dollar quite quickly as well. But going back to this lady, she was telling me that she likes doing all these different, so we started fleshing this thing out. I was saying, well, why don't you start customizing the broken figures for the simple actions? Because she was saying that she's going to sell these figures, and I said, look, to be brutally honest, and this is not egotistical or otherwise, if you are selling on eBay or you're selling in a marketplace, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I said, you are going to find it very hard to compete with me. You're going to find it very hard to compete with the other two people. So what you're better off doing is you're better off sub-niching in the niche, something that you can make your own. I've got no artistic ability, as you can see by my editing skills. She should really, if she's got a broken character that she's buying off me for 10 cents, she may want to paint a Halloween variant, or she might want to paint, gore variants or something like this. I said to him, well, I was tossing up around the idea probably 6-12 months ago of using the broken characters into like a kind of battle damaged Skylander war setup, like where you got armies for Warhammer and you got armies for Dungeons and Dragons, I assume. Anyway, getting back to the story, why can't you create these figures to be battle damaged? So if they're missing the head, obviously they're decapitated. If they're missing an arm, they obviously have the bone or the blood coming out, whatever you want to do. So she was like really interested in that. We fleshed out this. Like I said, it was supposed to be a 2-minute conversation. I was there for a half an hour talking to her, fleshing out ideas as well. And my wife's like, why are you helping these people? Why are you giving it different things? Is because I care about the niche. I want her to succeed. I do think it's very an admirable skill set to want to go down that path of, obviously making money, not the traditional 9 to 5 and all these different things, which is fantastic. And I really, really wish my kids had that drive. But like I was saying, it's going to be very, very, very hard to break yourself into a niche when there's 3 or 4 people in Australia that are quite heavy. I sell quite heavily over to the States and quite heavily over to Canada, what I've said before. So in the grand scheme of things, I might be the top 50 sellers of Skylanders in the world, right? Because obviously there are going to be bigger people in America than me. But for someone that's just starting, it's going to be very, very hard to do it without capital. But if she customizes her figures and moves on to Etsy and makes a Halloween line, or if starts, and I said to her, sell on Etsy, don't sell on eBay because obviously it's a customized figure. Sell on Etsy, move it that way, make a cult following. So get social media, make Instagram pages, go Pinterest, go Facebook, go TikTok, and do all those different things to demonstrate your abilities. I'm hoping she's got some abilities. This is basically off face value of what her and mum was saying. But obviously use her abilities, demonstrate what she can do, start selling, build a name for yourself, then obviously start going across, make your own website and have people come to you and do customizations. They may want a Double Trouble that has got like blood running from its teeth or something along to that. So then you can start doing commissions for people where you can charge more exorbitant prices. You're getting a constant stock supply quite cheaply through me. Like I said to you, you put it on Facebook Marketplace and say, hey, look, send me your broken Skylanders, either donate them or send them to me for cents on the dollar or something like that. They are completely useless to me, and I've said numerous times, I would rather they go to someone like that, where I eke a little bit of money, so not phenomenal amounts, but definitely more than throwing them in the trash. Like I said, I've got 2 big boxes here. There's some characters here, if they were in perfect condition, they're about $60, $70. She did mention that, like she was going to fix the pieces and glue them back together and all those different things. I've said to her, that's not my market, because my customers dictate the best of the best. So if you want to do that and obviously want to go from that way and be known for that, which is completely fine. There's a market for that, and probably a bigger market than what I've got. But like I was saying, is that if I dabbled into that, it would damage my reputation. And I have said previously, that's the reason why I don't push those Skylanders into my general population, because I don't know if people reach out to me and say, hey, this Skylander's broken. If they bought a broken one, if they bought a proper one, if I sent them the proper one, if I sent them a broken one, if I'm away or I'm at work and someone does it for me, I really can't take those variables out, and I don't really want to risk my reputation for that. So more than happy to, like I said, sell those broken ones to her. Obviously, the more and more that she procures, it might go from 10 cents up to 50 cents, $1, and all these different things, depending on what her profit margins are, right? And we go from there. So like I was saying, there's really different things that you can eke out of your business. If you're a clothing seller, you might have a Dixon shirt, or you might have a pair of Levi's with holes in it and all these different things. Don't necessarily throw them in the bin like I used to do. Put them on Facebook Marketplace and say, hey, look, distressed, or someone might be able to fix them. And someone might be a seamstress or a seamer. I'm not too sure what the guy is, but they may be something that knows sewing back to front. So they may be able to assist, or maybe repurpose that pair of pants, cut off jeans, cut off shorts, or something along the lines of that. Really, 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 start thinking outside the box. And it was just pure chance that this person that I ran into for a collection, like I was saying, is I was just going to drop it off, say thank you, see you later. It's just by virtue that she asked some questions. She doesn't watch the channel. I did drop my name a few times saying, hey, look, do watch me, do watch me, do watch me. She did ask me where the disgruntled octopus came from, because she primarily found me through the eBay store. Gave her one of the versions, one of the official, unofficial versions of why the octopus exists, and where the name came from. But anyway, we'll wrap it up then. Let me know in the comments section what I should do with my Carter Brown. If I say Charlie Brown in a future video, that's what I'm talking about, right? Let me know what I should do. And if you want me to do some videos as to how I list them, it's quite boring. I have to find the right angle so you can't see all my chins. But let me know if you want to see those ones. I'm contained in my garage, so I really don't want to be like packing orders and things like that. It's quite boring to me, but if you want to watch that, I'm more than happy to show you. Rummaging through tubs looking for one Skylander that I can't find, tipping the tubs out looking for that Skylander. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Like I've said before, I'm trying to get to 50,000 subs by the end of the week. So, if you press that sub button, that's one more sub closer to my 50,000 goal by the end of the week. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Bye. Whee!